Welcome to Inside Voice, your behind the scenes take on the $150 billion home care industry. Here, it's not about the loudest voices or polished headlines. It's about real stories, real challenges, and real insights from those shaping care every day. Join us as we cut through the noise, explore trends, and uncover what it truly takes to make a difference in the lives of those we care about. Inside Voice. All right, so today I have Amy Harrell, 8 years with Preferred Care at Home as a hiring manager, and Selena Jackson, also 8 years as the care coordinator. Also, we like to call it the chaos coordinator, which I think is very fitting. These two individuals are hold high positions at our top producers in the entire organization. Yeah. So they see a level of volume that no other Preferred Care at Home location sees. And so what an opportunity that I have to interview you guys and hear firsthand what it's like to operate an agency like Preferred Care at Home of East Tennessee. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Yes. Awesome. All right. So expansion is exciting, but it's also stressful. So if there was one specific moment during your growth spurts where you thought, we're going to need a bigger boat, how did you handle this pressure?
Oh, a lot of prayers, a lot of deep breaths.
It was a team effort.
It was.
It really was. We had to come together as a team and, go to our strengths.
And that's where everything sort of started separating into what our job descriptions were exactly going to be, because it went with our strengths, and that was the good part.
Yeah, and so we were I was just talking with Ryan and David, and you guys were a part of, the agency doing 40, 50,000 a month in revenue.
Yes.
To what we call, there's no other word, but explosion.
It was an explosion.
So what I want the listeners to understand, this wasn't like, we're steadily growing, especially for the hiring manager and the chaos coordinator. Those were the positions that felt the brunt of this explosion.
Absolutely.
Heavily.
Yes.
So
yes.
If you could just take me back to maybe a singular time that you were, what was that like during the peak of what we are today in your growth?
We worked, I can remember back in the beginning, whenever we were starting to explode, as you said, there were many nights that we would order pizza in and try to get everybody scheduled and make sure that all the shifts were filled, and then get ready for the next day and go out and do 5 or 6 assessments and come in, and Amy would have up to 15 people coming in to be hired. And we still do that today, but it's a little less chaotic.
It's a lot less chaotic. When we first started and it exploded, it's like you want to stop and take a breath, but you honestly can't.
No.
You have to keep your foot on the gas and continue to ride the waves. And you grow with it.
Why, just plainly, why were you guys so bought into this, to Preferred Care at Home? Why not during that season? Why didn't you guys say, I got a family at home, I'm not staying here, I'm going to go home and I'm going to find something else?
Right.
Why was there a level of buy-in that you guys saw and gave to Preferred Care at Home during those early years?
Well, my history is taking care of people. My mother and I owned a daycare for 25 years. And then from that, I went in on taking care of special needs. So taking care of people is what I love to do. I think that's a compassion that a lot of people can or cannot have, because you can't teach it. It's something that you actually have to have innate. And that is one of the things that I feel like if we can do that, then we're doing part of what we've been put here to do through God's work.
That's right.
And with that is something that I'm very, very strong on, as far as the way I feel about this company. And I saw with Ryan and David, they had that. That was one of the first things that I saw. You don't see that with a lot of owners. You don't see that with a lot of people. But not only are they here as the owners and administrators, but they care about us. They care about us as employees. They care about us as friends even. But that is the one thing that took hold of me, and I said, I'm all in. I did have 2 older children at the time, and luckily their dad is full board, and so I had that support system at home, but also I was taking care of my mother at the time, so I was in it at home, I was in it here, and that was just something that God had put me in to do, and with that compassion that led through, and that's what the joy of this job is.
How about you, Amy?
For me, I was on the opposite end of Selena. I was single. My kids were grown, out of the house. I was an empty nester. I needed to be needed. And I know as crazy as that sounds, I needed somebody to need what I had and what I could offer. And when I started as a caregiver, it's like, okay, I can do this. And then I was doing some recruiting inside. And when it started to explode, the guys came to me and said, you've got to choose one or the other. And it's like, I'm going to come in the office because that's my strength there. And it, like I said, when it exploded, it was just like, they really need me. I'm doing, what I was put here to do. I prayed for this chance to find something where I could make an impact. And this gives me the opportunity to give back to others. And so that's what it was for me. I needed to be needed. And trust me, these boys need us.
Love it. All right, so you two have been with Ryan and David for 8 years now. You've seen this office transform. When we talked to them, they talked about a core group. You two were a part of that core original group. What has been the biggest difference between the office environment back then versus the powerhouse that it is today?
It was a lot of, at the time, it was a lot of everybody doing a little bit of everything. And as time has went on, we've sort of figured out our niche and the places that we need to be. And we've taken those processes and sort of broken those up and been able to divide that out.
Yeah, and one of the things is what I've always seen is when you are given a certain job task, right? And then they go, well, we're going to hire somebody to take that off your plate. There's a little level of, well, hold on, I got to make sure it's done right, right? And you want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
How has that
Guilty.
been, letting go and accepting the help?
Yeah.
It's been very challenging, as y'all know. They say that I'm a little OCD. And if I tell them if I was OCD, it would be CDO because it would be an order.
She definitely is OCD.
But because we do get audited and we do go through those things, I have to make sure that things are done the correct way.
Exactly.
And I don't want to do anything that would cause us to spend what I call stupid money on fines and things like that.
Right.
And learning to give things up, it's hard. It's hard because we've been doing it, we've got control of it, and then they're saying we're going to give this little piece, to the next person, and then it's like, you take a deep breath and you have to trust yourself just like they trusted us because they had to turn loose.
That's right.
So I kind of have to go back to Ryan and David because they had to learn to let go.
That's right.
And I'm trying to get out of my own way.
But it's funny you say that because we talk about the 3 phases of a home care business. It's the baby, right?
Right.
It's your baby. So it's everything to you.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you want to get it to a business, it's got to move, right? You got to get to a bit, and you have to start to let go.
Right.
And that is the biggest hurdle our owners find themselves is, are they willing to let go and trust that someone else can do certain job responsibilities so the business can ultimately grow? That's great. Selena, this question is for you. I love the title, Chaos Coordinator. I love it because this industry is chaotic.
Yes.
Without getting into specific operational secrets, How does controlling the chaos actually look like on a busy Monday morning?
Oh, my door is a revolving door, usually on Monday mornings or any busy morning. I come in, and if I see people heading toward me, I usually know that that's going to be that day, whether that be on a Monday, a Wednesday, or a Friday, or in between. And basically, to me, it's gotten to where it's not as chaotic as some people may think. There are days that I have to repeat, I love my job, I love my job, I love my job. But with it all being said, I truly, truly love my job. But you take those fires that are blowing, the winds are trying to blow them into different directions, or that may be the biggest fire, and you try to put those out first. And then as you're working on that one and you've got space in between waiting on answers, maybe you try to get the next fire and you start working on that. And sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and say, okay, this fire can wait. So you have to know how to prioritize those fires, prioritize what's coming in and which one you need to handle first.
That's good. That's good. Amy, you are the first real impression a caregiver gets during the onboarding. Ryan and David credit you with finding gems. When bringing someone new in, what is the number one trait you're looking for that tells you this person fits the culture?
Compassion above everything. Compassion, do they have what it takes to show empathy, to be dependable for our clients? It is my job, and I take it very seriously, to take care of all of my caregivers. But if I don't take care of my caregivers, I can't expect them to take care of the clients.
Exactly.
So it starts with me.
That's right. So can you talk to me some of the ways you think you guys do a good job of taking care of your caregivers, especially during that onboarding process? Because these are the first impressions that they have of Preferred Care Home of East Tennessee. So maybe what are some of those things that you guys do?
It's letting them know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
That we are here, giving them examples of the things that we have done for caregivers in the past. And letting them know that we've got caregivers that have been here since before David and Ryan.
Right.
Yeah.
We let them know we're real people too.
Right.
We're not just office people. We're not above them. They're what takes this business to the whole next level.
Yeah.
It's, we let them know we're real people. We're honest people taking care of people. We don't judge anybody. It is us taking care of our community.
Yeah. Which to maybe the uninitiated, they would say, that doesn't seem like much. But when you cater it with, hey, I could be doing this alone on care.com and serving a family by myself and probably making a couple dollars more an hour, right?
Right.
Let's just speak in plain terms. Caregivers want to be a part of
a culture, a part of a family. They need to be needed just as much.
When you say we care, when you're saying this, that's what caregivers desire. They desire to also be cared for.
Exactly.
And they do feel that. They come to us and they tell us, how much that they appreciate us. But in turn, we develop that culture, and when we're talking to them, whether it be on the phone or in the office, we let them know, hey, we appreciate what you're doing.
Exactly.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah. And you guys do a good job, and I know just from the outside looking in, you do a good job of having an open door policy where I truly believe, and I'm not just saying this, your caregivers feel like if they need something, they go to you.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And
Absolutely.
creating that environment is difficult to do with caregivers. But if you want to have a culture like you guys have, it's necessary.
Exactly.
It's, I tell them during orientation that anytime that they walk through this door, they are the top priority. Whatever's going on anywhere else, whatever I'm doing, it stops because they are the priority.
That's right.
We've got to take care of them.
It's good.
Because they don't come in unless they need something. And so we try to prioritize what they need and get them taken care of.
And think about it, like for us, for a caregiver to get in their car and drive over here and come into this office takes a level of you got to become vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Right? And if they're here, there's a huge need.
Absolutely. And their needs come first.
It's awesome. Okay, so for a lot of our listeners and new owners, they are currently wearing both of your job hats, okay? And so for the new owners who are doing all the recruiting right now and doing the chaos coordinating, what is the most important skill they need to develop to be good at onboarding and chaos coordinating? Is it patience? Is it intuition? Is it organization? So,
All the above. All the above.
okay, well, that's
For me, it's organization.
you got to be perfect, okay?
Exactly.
For me, it's organization.
Okay.
Because I am a project completion person.
So for onboarding caregivers, we need to be organized.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You've got to know where the end goal is, but you've got to know how to get there. And you need to make sure that you stay on task to complete that. Otherwise, when it comes to audits and things like that, you're not going to make it.
In other words, follow the process.
Exactly.
Yes.
Make a plan and follow the plan. You know, and at least you know that when you do that you can go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're not organized, it's not going to work.
But going with that, you've got to have the patience to deal with that. Because if you explode, they're going to explode. Yeah. And the processes are not going to get done.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be done correctly.
Could you take me through what a chaos coordinator does? Is it when a caregiver calls out, are you the one calling the family, letting them know, hey, we're going to have somebody else on the way? What are some of the fires that you're putting out on a typical Monday? And we talk about fires, it's very general, but for the listener, what does coordinating the chaos look like? A specific example, if you could.
It could be simply as what you said, and I say simply because I don't deal with that quite as much as our scheduling person does. Yeah. But I do deal with those things because if I have a family member that's upset or a client that's upset, those are the ones that I usually deal with. I usually deal with the ones that are not happy. So sometimes I will just let them calm down and, then I'll talk to them. But a lot of the fires that I put out are genuinely issues that we may have had with a caregiver. Maybe they're on their phone too much. Maybe they didn't arrive on time. Or maybe we've had a client that fell and they're on their way to the hospital. Or the caregiver would call and say, what do I need to do with this client because their blood sugar is bottoming out? Where do I go from here? What steps do I need to take?
So it sounds like you're frequently asked questions. You're the FAQ of the office, as well as the individual who has to deal with tough conversations with caregivers who, let's be honest, are a little flighty. So it needs to, the conversations, it's like, hey, we love you, but you can't be on your phone.
Exactly. Right. I am the one that has the tough conversations.
So you have to develop a rapport with them.
Yes.
Because you can't just... it's like me. If I called one of your caregivers, hey, you can't be on the phone. Like, who the heck are you telling me what I can and can't do? So there's a level of not only respect, but rapport that you have with these caregivers.
Yes.
How do you think you develop that?
Well, it's like I said before, stay calm and don't raise your voice at them. I mean, you can't be... and don't be in your face about it. Yeah. Let them know that you understand, hey, this is a culture and this new culture likes to be on their phone, but you're with those clients. They need your attention. Yeah. Explain to them why they can't be on their phone. Explain to them why we have these processes that we have to follow. And a lot of times, it's simple as, why are they not clocking in? Well, why do I need to clock in? I'm here. I'm taking care of this client. What does it mean that I need to clock in? Well, this is why you need to clock in. I sort of help the caregivers and help the families understand the processes that we have to do in order to be who we are, Do you think sorry, not to continue this, but do you think, Amy, maybe some of the rapport also starts early on? Because you see what I'm saying? Yeah, because obviously that tough conversation happens, but it's much easier to have a tough conversation with somebody who they know
you're for them, not against them.
Exactly. We tell them during orientation, and there are days that I'm not here when she does orientation on Fridays. But if I'm here and I go through and I see the caregivers, I introduce myself or she introduces me. And the one thing that I tell them is, listen, we're people too. We've got your back.
Yeah.
We're going to have your back.
Just what they want.
But
Right.
you got to be honest with us. Don't be telling me things that aren't true and then expect me to have your back. Make sure that you're being honest with us. You're putting in the notes. And so I sort of guide them into how to be that caregiver that we can help.
That we are real people taking care of real people.
Exactly.
So, Amy, do you usually run that orientation?
Yes.
She does a wonderful job.
Okay.
Yes.
What would you say is maybe the most impactful part of that orientation that really sets the stage for Selena to have success in the hey, it's time to get off your phone? Because again, it starts then.
Right.
So those conversations become easy. What are maybe some of the things that you think you do really well that maybe some of our listeners should start to implement during that orientation phase?
It's being conscious of who is trying to sneak and get on their phone. And then, for me, it's I walk up to them and ask them a question or, ask them how I can help them and things like that. Personal. Being right there with them.
Yeah.
Is there something I can do to help you? Do you have an emergency?
So good.
It's being a real person with them and understanding that life happens. It doesn't stop just because you're in a meeting.
Yeah.
If they have an emergency come up, we deal with it and we work through it.
What I'm gathering just from the short time of talking with you guys here today is caregivers are your number one priority.
Absolutely.
And you're doing everything possible during that interview process for them to know that.
Yes.
And when they walk in the door, everything stops. And then additionally, you want to have one-on-one relationships with these individuals.
Right.
Absolutely.
In an industry that caregivers are a means to an end, that's where you guys separate yourselves. They are.
Without
part of
them,
this
we
one.
wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
and you guys can agree though. They are caregivers in our industry though. Historically, we're going to use you until you're burned out, and then when you call no show, you're done.
Exactly.
And I'll find somebody else. Sounds like you guys do a really good job of.
we try to
taking care of
listen
them.
as to what's
Exactly.
going on. Why did you not come in?
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to, I tell them, if you're with a client and you're not happy with that client, listen, we've got 200 or 300 more. Let's try somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't work with somebody that you can't get along with, because then you're not going to want to go to work.
Yeah.
Let's find somebody that you're happy with, make a friend and help a friend out.
That's right. It's good. All right. So
I was going to say, we both started out as caregivers in this industry. And it helps to let them know that we were exactly where they are. I also tell them, hey, I wouldn't put you in a place that I wouldn't go myself. And if you're afraid or you don't feel comfortable, let us know. It's okay.
Yeah. I think that's important too, that you guys come from the caregiving background, because it shows it shows that you guys get it. And when you talk about the high calling it is to caregivers, it's not just lip service.
Exactly.
That you guys
not.
truly believe it.
No, I've been there, done that. She has too. I mean, it's one of those things
Right.
where we can speak from experience.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of talk a little bit about your office culture. We hear a lot about your office culture around the system. Ryan and David, any chance they get, point to this office for their success. I mean, we just talked with them, and the entire conversation was about you guys. It's high energy. What is one small thing you think this office does, tradition, habit, maybe mindset, that keeps the morale high?
We have fun. I mean, we
Yeah.
try to not keep it all stagnant. We try to enjoy just being here every day, because, if you just work, it's not, you got to laugh.
Oh, home care will give you plenty of reasons to laugh.
Exactly.
Laugh and cry. Laugh so hard you cry.
We actually sometimes channel our clients. We have a wonderful client, and it's ma'am.
He always says,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
And sometimes when things get stressful, it's like, but ma'am, but ma'am. And
Well, inside jokes.
It's just,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then-
and it's nothing to demean them at all. It's just that we love them. And that's
even
just part of them.
even in the chaos and the craziness and things that are driving us wild, we can be respectful, because we know what we're we know that we're taking care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, we just have to channel them.
Yes.
And then we're good about saying, listen, Linda,
Exactly.
this is how it is.
Listen, Linda.
We got this.
Yeah.
Or it is what it is. I know a lot of people don't like that saying, but there's things that there's nothing I can do about it. And I've had to learn that as a chaos coordinator, is when to draw that line and say, okay, this is where we're at, and there's nothing else that can be done about it.
Oh, that is the truth. You don't believe in God?
Oh, yes.
Open up a home care agency.
Exactly. My faith is very strong, and I pray for everybody every day. Ryan and David, the girls in here in the office,
amazing.
just, and I think that with faith and with God, like you said, you got to have that faith, because He's the only thing that's going to get you through on days that we're having hard days.
Well, I will say that's on brand, because Preferred Care at Home, we are a Christian organization.
Exactly, and that's...
we believe Jesus is King, and there's no higher calling than to care for the orphan and the widows.
Exactly,
and the less unfortunate. And that's what we have the opportunity to do here at Preferred Care at Home. In addition to that, we have the opportunity to love on those who are not loved, which is our caregivers too.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And so it's a high calling. And because it's such a high calling, there's going to be days where it just feels like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Right.
Oh, yes, but you've got to. Yeah. I tell our caregivers that they'll ask, what kind of clients do you take care of? And I tell them, I said, it doesn't matter what their ability is or their inability. We're here to love them all. Mm-hmm. I don't want anybody leaving this world not knowing that somebody loved them and somebody cared about them.
Exactly.
It can be as simple as just a touch or a pat on the arm. We're here for you.
So cool. Mm-hmm. What an opportunity, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just the client count that has grown, but it's the internal staff has grown too. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but how do you welcome the internal new staff members to make them feel a part of this family, which obviously you and Selena are very close. That's intimidating to walk into an office where there's a lot of team members that are friends and been friends for quite a while and have been through war together. Mm-hmm. How do you welcome them and invite them into this culture?
We just try to put them in with a part of it. And if we are going through something, we may explain to them, why we're feeling a certain way as we're going through that. And then we just open ourselves up to, hey, if you need us, just ask. Don't be afraid to ask us anything. A lot of times I'll go in and I automatically close my door because I have those hard conversations.
Sure.
So I will tell people, hey, just knock or stick your head in. If I'm not on the phone or I'm not in the middle of something, ask me anything, whatever you need. So we want to make sure that the new staff knows that they're a part of us too.
We don't come off trying to be better than anybody.
Exactly.
This is not an office of competition. Mm-mm. This is an office of a team. Mm-hmm. And we don't act fake or anything.
No.
I'm real. I make mistakes. Shh, don't tell nobody.
But how do you think, what reasons is that instilled? Because we see a lot of offices where there just seems to be a lot of internal conflict with seasoned veterans like you guys, with new people. Why do you think you guys have the mindset you have?
We don't do drama.
No.
There's not any place for it here.
Yeah.
There's enough going on in everybody's personal life. And it doesn't need to be in here.
Yeah.
We need to know that we've got each other's back, as well as having the caregiver's back. And going back to my faith, that's one of those things where to try to be a good Christian, you don't need to be a backstabber. You don't need to try to get somebody else in trouble. You don't need to be somebody that's going to throw somebody under the bus.
It's actually quite the opposite. It's you cover.
Exactly. You try to cover them. You try to
Yeah.
help them through that process. If they're having struggles, then go in and say, oh, well, how can we help you do this? Or how can we make that better?
You can't build
Such a good
any
culture.
You can't build anybody up if you're stabbing them in the back.
right.
Exactly.
You know, you make people better by giving them the
Grace.
grace
Exactly.
and the to let them hear that you're praising them. They need to know that they're doing a good job. Everybody wants to be lifted up,
Right.
and we try to do that as best we can, always.
So if you could tell me, think of a new owner, tell a new owner one thing not to do when managing the back office, what would it be? So you have a new owner, what's one thing they should not be doing to
Don't
manage?
micromanage.
No micromanaging.
Trust those people that you have hired to do the job. I know it takes a little bit of training, but you need to be able to trust them and let them go through that process, make those mistakes, and then say, hey, this is how we need to fix this. That's something that the guys are really good at. And I call them Ryan and David the guys. But they are good about, okay, so we messed up, let's fix it, and let's move on. If you mess up 2 or 3 more times with the same thing, then that may be a different conversation. But right now, you know, the biggest thing is don't micromanage and make sure that your people know that you've got them.
One thing not to do.
You like that?
I like the micromanaging because in the beginning there was a little bit, and it's like, listen,
We got this.
I can't do this if you're going to stand over
got
my
it.
shoulder. And they listen.
Yeah.
The most important thing a new owner can do is trust their instincts. They chose that person,
Exactly.
and to include them.
You know, as a former owner, it's funny, I'm hearing this and I'm thinking back in my Rolodex mind, and I'm thinking, you know, I probably was a little bit of a micromanager.
I think everybody has a little bit of it.
Full
that in 'em.
disclosure, and the thought of it though is actually it comes from more of a space for me at least where I don't want them to feel alone in this process.
Exactly.
And so it's not from I don't trust you.
Right.
It's almost like I feel like this responsibility is too big for you alone. So let me kind of break down how to manage this
Right.
properly, and maybe I can help where it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
And to hear you guys say, just trust me with it.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard.
Right.
It's hard. But like I said, when you do mess up, that's when you had that conversation. And you say, okay, so how can we do this process a little better? How can we fix where that messed up?
Good.
You
The
know?
guys are really good about trusting us.
Yeah.
And case in point, I was talking with David earlier this morning. I said, listen, this has come through. I don't have all the details on it yet, but if I get to a point where I'm stuck, I'll let you know.
Right.
And he's like, okay, you've got this.
Yeah. I've been doing policies, and Ryan's done the same thing. You know, hey, where do I need to help you with that? And that's where they're at. It's not let me micromanage you. It's how can I help you do this process?
Right.
And it just seems, now that we're full circle, it seems like that's trickled down to your caregiver, that same approach.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. All right. What is one thing you want the rest of Preferred Care at Home Network to know about your team that makes you guys so successful?
We are a team. There's not a competition in the office.
No.
Nobody else here wants anybody else's job because we've been here long enough to know, like Selena and I've been here 8 years, Katrina's been here 10 years.
Right.
There's several of seasoned people in this office, and that we sing out of the same book.
Exactly.
And we know we've got each other's back. If Selena's out, Katrina will step in, or I'll step in. Or, you know, if Katrina's out, you know, Selena steps in, I step in. It doesn't matter. We are a team. And if something goes awry, we come together as a team. The boys know that. No, I'm sorry, I was calling the boys.
That's good. That's fine.
They're my boys. They know
right.
that.
Yeah.
They're young enough to be my sons.
They're younger,
and we really care about these guys. But they know that if something were to happen on the weekend and they needed every one of us to come in, there wouldn't be a hem and haw. It is, okay, let's come together and fix it.
Exactly. I was going to say that includes the other offices that we have in Chattanooga and Tri-Cities. We want to let everyone know that we are all a team. We don't have just separate offices. We have one full office. Yes, we're in different locations, but we want to know that each other has their back. Yeah. We've got each other's back.
So the question actually had the answer in it. It's the team.
It's the team.
That's what makes you guys so successful.
It is.
Well, I want you guys to know the impact you've had on lives of families in East Tennessee. I don't know if you guys know the full effect of it, and you probably won't see the full effect on this side of heaven. Yeah. But the work you guys do is unbelievable.
Thank you.
You've impacted thousands of families' lives. And I think it's important for you guys to know that and be reminded of that this work is good work.
It is.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you recognizing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you give us a follow so you stay up to date whenever we drop a new episode.